is probably going to be the hardest project or series that I have ever done, but I am determined to see to the end of it. So help me God. Amen. So recently I was thinking about my life. I was just reflecting, and then I reflected on the victories I have had so far and the mistakes that I have had as well. And somehow I paid more attention to the mistakes. Normally you will hear people say you should dwell on your victory, but this time around I just felt like to dwell on the mistakes because I want to learn from them. And then I realized that I made so many mistakes as a lady in my 20s. I made so many mistakes, and by the time I collected them, there were about 25 mistakes. And that is why I'm making this series. I am starting this series because I want to share those mistakes with ladies in their 20s because I don't want them to go through or to make the same mistake that I made. About 7 years ago, I remember that I was working in a hospital as a nurse. That was during the COVID period. Remember that lots of people ventured into online business during that time, right? I was one of those people. I learned telecoms business. I ventured into cosmetics where I make body soaps, where I make hair oil, body butter, and all of that. And I was making money. In fact, that was the period that taught me what responsibility truly meant. That was the period that opened my eyes to see the importance of making money via the things you do with your hands. During that period, I didn't have to wait till month's end before I had money in my account. And I remember that that same period, I enrolled for a violin class. I began to learn violin. I joined three bands where I was singing. Remember, I was already a nurse. I was into telecoms. So I was basically doing so many things at the same time. And I remember that it was so frustrating. I was I was so frustrated. I felt so empty because I couldn't achieve like I was so frustrated. I am getting emotional, but I'll just try as much as possible to relay my message to you. Now, the truth is, I know that I was frustrated. I know that I felt so empty deep within, but I didn't just understand the reason for those feelings. I didn't understand. I carried that particular mistake. I carried it for about 5 6 years before I began to understand that the problem was the fact that I was doing too much at the same time. And that's the exact mistake I want to talk about in this video. After that period, I remember that I enrolled for a writing class. I started writing on Facebook. I was writing on so many things, lifestyle, Christian writing, and whatever comes to my mind, right? So from writing, I ventured into being a writing coach. I began to teach people how to write. I began to ghostwrite. I opened a YouTube channel where I teach people on oral health because I studied oral health in school. You can imagine I was doing so much. So I opened a YouTube channel. I opened a TikTok account. I was showing up on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I was showing up as a health writer. I enrolled for a virtual assistant class. I was doing so much because I wanted to make money. That's the major reason. So I felt like I could do all these things together. Back then, people were already talking about, the importance of avoiding doing so many things at the same time. But I was not paying attention to it. Not until last year when one it was a season where I was frustrated again because I was not even making the money I wanted to make. I was not making the money I wanted to make. So one of the people I respect in the online space spoke about it again that you don't do too much at the same time because you'll be frustrated. The goal or the you need to be strategic about it. And then she said that you should start with one thing first before you venture into another thing. And then she used this popular fashion designer, Vicky James, as an example. Vicky James was known as a fashion designer. She was already established in it before she ventured into being a chef, before she ventured into being an artist, before she ventured into being a singer. She was established, she was already known as a fashion designer. That was the breakthrough that I needed. Not that I haven't heard of it before, I have heard of it before, but I just felt like it was time for me to understand, or probably because I opened my heart. I was ready to learn. Maybe that was the reason. But I just felt like it felt like something just fell off my eyes, and I saw clearly. I saw where the mistake was coming from. I saw the mistake that I was making, and the mistake was me trying to be everything at the same time. That was the mistake I made. So I had to pause, reflected, and then I realized that it's true. For almost 7 years now, I've been doing so many things at the same time. So I had to pause everything I was doing, thought about it, and then decided to choose just one and focus on it. And trust me, it has been helpful. I decided to focus on writing since last year, and it has been really, really helpful for me. I have authored more books, I have coached more students, and I'm so grateful. And that is why I decided to share this with you. Probably you are one, you are a lady, you are making the same mistake that I made years back. I know that you want to make money. Everybody wants to make money. I know you're probably feeling like you have enough strength, you have enough energy to do so many things at the same time. You probably also want to be seen as a superwoman. But the truth is, you are not under, it is not a must for you to monetize everything that you know. It is not a must to monetize everything that you know. Just choose the one that deserves your greatest attention and pour into it. Grow in it. Establish yourself in it. The moment you are rooted in that aspect, then you can start venturing into other aspects. You can start growing. You can start pouring into other aspects so that you will grow in them as well. But doing everything at the same time is not something that I would advise you. Of course, you have just listened to my story, and right now I can't even describe how I feel. I feel so emotional because I feel like I have wasted so many years, and right now I really wished I had somebody who told me everything that I'll be sharing with you in this series. I really, really wished I had somebody who told me that. But all the same, it is not too late for me, and it's not fun doing this because I am still on the journey of discovery. I am still trying to be bold enough to share my mistakes with other ladies, and I sincerely hope that you wouldn't take this with levity. You wouldn't um just see this advice as nothing. I hope that you will yield to this advice and you would take the necessary action. So I'll see you in the next video. This is just one out of the 25 videos that I'll be sharing with you on the 25 mistakes that I made, and I hope that you have learned one thing or the other. So if you have had the same experience that I just shared with you in this video, kindly share with us in the comments below. I want to read from you, I want to learn from you, and I want to rub minds together with you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.